So I was going to say to you, it's been really interesting to kind of like peel back another layer and do another dive into all of this stuff. Um, it's been over the last few days, you can see different stuff coming up. So I'm appreciating having the opportunity to kind of be working on this when I've got so many things shifting and changing in my life.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, what's coming up?
Tantrums.
From your
A
childhood or
lot of
now?
no, well, I mean, I think they're interconnected, right? Like, yeah, like feeling really reactive. I think that the eclipse didn't help with a lot of that.
Mhm.
Um, been feeling really kind of unsettled, but what I'm noticing exciting and feels really, really good, but like there's this ambivalence, right? Going back to what we talked about on Tuesday around kind of like that wanting to reach out, wanting to connect, but not feeling safe connecting. So I'm seeing that, historically I've really seen it play out in my um, personal life. Like I can really name that dance in terms of how I connect with other humans, especially on an intimate level. But it's really been interesting to see it starting to play out on in my career.
Mm.
Um, like being like shoved right in my face, as opposed to just like when I wasn't holding my feet to the flames career wise, when it was just kind of something on the back burner that I was going to get to eventually. I couldn't really quite see the pattern.
Mm.
And now that's all that's sitting in front of me, it's like, oh wait, look, I'm doing it here too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what does
yeah,
that look like specifically if you care to, or if you feel like sharing? Like the more
yeah.
specific we get, the easier it is to work with it.
To hone in on it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
what does that look like? It looks like if I want to be working with people, I actually need to be talking to people. Um, and so if you're sitting in your house doing the busy work of business, but not actually connecting with other human beings, it's not going to get out there. So there's this disconnect, and then this kind of like, and it's childlike. It is a kind of childlike, stunned feeling of, oh, why isn't this working? Like people are just supposed to magically appear in front of me. So there's that higher self, there's that wise adult self that recognizes the connection between um, needing to make deep connections with human beings in order to work with them. And then there's that childish self with that magical thinking idea that it's kind of like, oh, if I just put it out there, people will just magically show up.
Mm.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes. So I think what I'm hearing is you're talking more about the marketing aspect, the trying to get clients aspect.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And just even in terms of building, like what is this going to look like? There's an intellectual disconnect between having an idea about something and then actually following through with it and having it appeal in the real world, right? So like, if I'm wanting to have a workshop, you need 30 people to be in your workshop, but if you're
Yep.
not feeling safe going out into the world, well, one at least, right? And so if you're not speaking to anyone because people don't feel safe, quote unquote, no one's going to be in your workshop.
Right. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot to unpack there, which is great. Um, so where is the disconnect for you? It's like, for example, if you're going to have a workshop and promote a workshop, is there a part of you, like the inner child, saying people aren't safe?
Yeah.
And so we don't
Yeah.
want to invite people in?
I don't even want to talk to people. Right.
Okay.
So, and so there's this, I've had this narrative all these years that, oh, I'm just an introvert.
Mhm.
Well, am I an introvert or am I just avoidant of people because I'm afraid of them? Right. And so that's the piece that I'm trying to kind of like pull piece apart to understand how much that is just a narrative I've been using to keep myself safe.
Mhm.
How
Mhm.
much of the introvert piece is actually true, that I do need a lot of time on my own to feel
Mhm.
rejuvenated,
Mhm.
and how much of it really is, I just avoidant of social situations. And when I get into social situations, I feel socially awkward. I feel
Right.
uncomfortable. I don't
Right.
feel safe.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So here's a suggestion to think about and see how this lands with you. So what I'm hearing is the social aspect of it, but there's also the professional, Lorena, the professional,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know your shit.
Right. Yeah.
So separate them. This is not
Right.
so this isn't a party, right? So it's not about being socially awkward. It's about what would happen if you remove the ego from the situation and
Yeah.
focus on the work.
Right.
So let's say you're doing a workshop on, uh, premarital communication,
Right.
right? Or something like that. I'm making this shit up. Okay, so you're doing that. And so if you focus on what am I bringing to these people, and they will see it, and they will either it will speak to them, or it won't. But those who
Right.
do show up, I'm just going to present the material,
Right.
right? And so relying on the message as opposed to the conveying of the message, because that will
Right.
help. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, give me the yeah, but.
The yeah but is um the inner child. So there's a tension. So authentic self recognizes all of that and she understands all of that and she wants to do all of that. The resistance when I feel that kind of, and it's somatically in my solar plexus, I can literally feel
Right,
it.
right.
And she's saying, I don't even want to talk to the people that I need to talk to get them into my workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense?
Yeah, meaning you don't. So So how are you getting people into the workshop? I need to understand what the process is, and then we'll deal with the inner child in a second.
Right. So there's what I understand is that you need to make a genuine connection with other human beings in order to get into your workshop, right? You need to be talking to people. You need to go to whatever, like wellness fair. You need to see them in social situations. You need to, um, you know, yes, can you put advertisements out there and have people magically appear through social media? Yes and no, but I don't even want to engage on social media. And so when I tease it all back to the root, right? So if I trace all of this stuff back to the root, which is I don't want to be seen on social media. I don't want to do the pieces that I need to do in order to put it out there, in order to share it. And when I check in with that inner world, it's that little one that's at the root of all of it, and she's saying no, 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 and she's stomping her feet and she's saying we're not doing it.
Okay. So there are two beautiful. So there are two elements that we can look at. One of them is, and this is so obvious, but I've encountered this myself. Really look at what your offering is, because it may be that
Okay.
you're not resonating with your offering. And then what happens is you get depleted energetically, and then it may not even be the inner child. It might just be your highest self going, no, 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 this isn't for you, right? Because if you have a course or
So
go
when
ahead.
I Yeah, go ahead. No, yeah. So when I do that check-in, I am so energized and I am so high and I am so excited after I share what I want to be sharing, how I want to share it, that I know that it's I am totally in alignment
Okay.
on that regard. Yeah.
Okay. So then so the reason we do that is to eliminate, check all the boxes, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I found too. I get really excited about something, or I feel like this is something I should offer. This is something that I should offer, but I'm not excited about it. And then I'm
Yeah.
dragging my feet. That's not the inner
I
child. That's
yeah,
that's like okay, so
yeah.
that's not the case for you.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So you're like, I'm excited about this work, but there's a part of me, the inner child is going, I don't want to talk to anybody. It's not safe. Is that
Hmm.
what I'm understanding? Okay, listen, you
Yeah.
sweetheart, you gotta get down. Um, okay, so how old is she, the inner child who's saying this? Is this still the 8-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and what is what's her take on it? What's her story about not wanting to communicate with people?
That you can't trust them, that everything will look fine on the surface and things will go sideways faster than you can even imagine, and you don't know what's going wrong or why it's going wrong. And so there's no way of figuring out what the problem is. And so people just they're unpredictable and you just don't even know why.
Right, right. Um, and so, okay, so let's do this in your mind. And you can actually, since you're sitting outside, let's have her sit next to you,
Sure.
and we're gonna just chat with little Lorena. And I'm hearing her argument. So she's saying, listen, people are unpredictable, things can go sideways fast. And so I have a question for her, which is what things? What things will go sideways? And this might be a very simple answer. Like, to what is she referring when she says things will go sideways? Or what are you? I'm going to speak to her, little Arena, LL.
Yeah, so what she says is that people that you love can act one way, and then they tell you what they're really thinking.
Yeah.
And so then every year going along, do 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 do, and you're just being your genuine self, and everything's good and everything's great, and you're all hanging out, and then all of a sudden somebody's yelling at you, um, like blaming you for the things that you're doing that they were encouraging, and that you just don't even know where it's coming from.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. So these are people that you love would, you think things are going well and they can turn on a dime
Yeah.
and come at you, right? Okay. So let me ask, and you can chime in as the adult too, but we're asking her, um, first of all, I'm saying, yeah, I feel that. That's happened to me. That sucks. I don't know. How do you feel about when that happens? What are the feelings that come up when that happens?
Ah, my solar plexus gets tight.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our seat of self.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a freeze. It's the freeze response. I feel
Mhm.
that every part of my life.
Yeah.
And things go sideways, everything just freezes. You ask me to do my times tables in front of the classroom, and I just freeze. My brain freezes, and I don't know what to say.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that is,
yeah, petrified. The word
Mhm.
petrified comes to mind.
Yeah.
Just frozen solid. Yeah.
So you, adult Lorena, can you identify with that? Can you understand that feeling? So,
Yeah,
so
totally. Yeah.
close your eyes for a second and just say, tell her that.
Yeah, it's just super scary when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it as an adult. I see it happen as an adult when it happens. I've been on the receiving end of it. I literally did it this morning to someone I love, right? So I totally, as an adult, if that's terrifying for me, I can't even imagine this tiny little human, how scary that must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, how scary that must be to feel like here's someone you trust, here's someone you love.
Right.
They're responsible for so much in your life, in your world, and all of a sudden you feel like the air's been sucked out of the room. It's horrible. You can't
Yeah.
even breathe. It's
Yeah.
suffocating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she getting that you're saying to her, like, I hear you, sister. It's bad. Doesn't feel
Yeah.
nice at all.
No.
Yeah. So we are all three of us in alignment on how bad that feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next question is, if the people that you, adult Lorena, the people that adult version of yourself is trying to reach out to, are they the same as loved ones?
No, but I see them as loved ones.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, tell me more about that.
Um, they're just friends you haven't connected with yet. Like I feel like they have all the same components of the people I do love. There's just a layer of distance that's set in between because there's a larger boundary around them.
Right. Right.
But maybe that's the issue, right?
Yes.
It's the boundary issue.
Yes.
The boundary issue in that I don't know how to protect myself with people I love, and I don't know how to protect myself in them. So I wall off. Got it. Yep, I answered it.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
And by the
Yeah.
way, you do know how to protect yourself from people you love. It's been an issue that you've worked on, but you know
Yeah.
how to do it, whether you do it 99 to 100%.
Yeah.
No, because we all mess up, and we all know you mess up. We all don't
Yeah.
behave in the most virtuous way all the time. But that's where the non-judgment comes in, and we say, I didn't handle that well this moment. I'll try again, like whatever
Yeah.
happened this morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you make your reparations and you carry on without
Yeah.
judgment. Okay, so that is true. There's a boundary thing. Your potential clients or students are not loved ones. They
Yeah.
are like ahimsa love. They are, platonic love. They are, love for humanity, loving kindness love. But that depth of intimacy is just not there. The one that's making little Lorena scared, somebody's going to turn on you, right? That when we're in the capacity of being a coach or an instructor, a teacher, that's what we're doing, is we're presenting this gift to people that they can take or not. Right? So it's not a personal thing if they don't want it, because remember, we're all spirits having a human experience. We're all siblings, right? So where they are in their path has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. I
Right?
relate to that. That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So for example, if there's a fear, I don't know what is there, like this fear that somebody's going to say, well, that's stupid, or attack you for having these classes,
No,
workshops.
it that all those pieces feel in alignment, which they didn't before. That I suffered from the, well, if I learn one more thing, it'll all be okay.
Right.
That's complete. I really feel like in terms of that whole cycle, when I sit with what I know and what I have to offer, I understand how incredible it is. I have enough external validation from the people I have shared with that it's life changing and feels so incredibly good for them. So that all feels really well. And I guess that's part of the reason I'm understanding that this is something much, much deeper than what I'm seeing on the surface.
Yeah.
There's like this really weird disconnect between, you
Mhm.
know, what my authentic higher self is witnessing and wants to live and sees in the future for myself and the trajectory I'm headed on.
Mhm.
And this really weird kind of like, it feels like saran wrap. Like there's a layer of
Yeah.
saran wrap in
Yeah.
front of me and I try to push through it. And it's like there's that everybody's not on board. Everyone on the committee is not on board. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so remember, the inner child is coming from a place of wounding, self-protection from people who are close to you
Yeah.
and who had that power to truly hurt you. And the work that you're doing with clients, I know you logically know this, but the work you're doing with clients, that's not that relationship. So your invitation to your inner child is to tell her this. Let
Right.
her understand, right? That that feeling of not being safe. Yeah, we get that. That's really scary. And so we have to learn to be a little more discerning about who we share with, and we can still love them and not share everything because we you know, don't want to put ourselves in a place of uh unnecessary vulnerability, right?
So, yeah, I get all that. And so, I can really see over the next few weeks just really sitting down with her and really reinforcing that and having those heart to heart conversations. Um, I'm I'm wondering if you have any suggestions in terms of, so what I can see is what's missing is the corrective emotional experience of connecting with others in a safe way, right? So what I'm seeing now is here I am living in this space and time where I've done a huge amount of work between back then and now,
Mm-hmm.
but the pattern, so the part of the issue with avoidance is you don't get the corrective experiences because you retreat, right? So you
Right.
don't put yourself
Right.
in the situation where you get validation that you are okay now. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you recommend in terms of, so what I'm starting to see and kind of like sitting with her, I'm feeling a space open up where what feels like kind of the direction of that I need to be moving is to put myself in social situations um, in a safe and honored way that does not include having wine,
Uh-huh.
um, because I know that is my go-to way of feeling okay in a
Yeah.
social situation.
Right.
So, do you have any recommendations? Kind of like shifting into moving myself out into the world so that it's a positive experience and I don't have my bias confirmed.
Yeah. Well, so if we deal with it through the inner child, right? If you're talking to her, and this is
Mm-hmm.
part of the reparenting, which we're going to get into, but part of the reparenting is to take the role of the adult who has had life experiences. Your corrective experience, positive experience, you have stories of people that you have helped, of people who are grateful for your work.
Yeah.
Tell her those stories. Let me tell you about this client I had. So,
Mm.
and how did they come to you? And how, and somehow, we're all starting out, everything's that's new is scary,
Yeah.
but here's something that I've done that you should know about, that I put myself out there, that I got into deep, intimate conversations with people, with individuals, with couples, and I've been able to help them. And
Yeah.
they've been grateful. And all that changes the quantum field, all that changes collective consciousness. So I want you to know
Yeah.
that it's been done. I've done it as an adult, right? And
Right.
right. So it's like
Right.
focusing on and what
The
has already
situations you
become.
have had,
Yeah.
right? It's funny, right? Like that bias, it's almost as though you disregard it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
It's
sure.
what is that? There's a psychological attribute where you do that, right? It's not
Yeah.
cognitive dissonance, but it's the same thing as
It's
I'm
a
just gonna,
negative bias. It's something else.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. I'm just gonna dismiss all of these other like literally analytical data set over here to focus over here, which is my bias. Yeah.
Right. And so even understanding that with loving kindness and with non-judgment, we understand the reason the brain does that is survival. The
Right.
brain is looking for any chinks in the armor, because if there's a chink in the armor, that's where the arrow gets through. They're not saying, oh, let's focus on how nice our chainmail is. You know what I mean? They're saying, where is it broken? Right? That's
Oh,
just
there's this
how,
teeny spot here.
right. And
Yeah.
let's just perseverate on that. So the point is that we have to love ourselves, accept that that's how we are wired, is to look for the negative in order to keep ourselves safe. But we don't have to stay in that place, because it's also important to say, yeah, there's a tiny little chink in this armor, which we can repair, but look at the entire chainmail and how strong it
Yeah.
is. What are the odds that one little arrow is going to go through that tiny little hole, right? We've got a whole beautiful, chainmail outfit right now. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that's going for us. What that does is it evens the scale, and it certainly helps our brain and our nervous system to calm down. Hey, let's look at the whole picture. I appreciate that you're trying to protect me, right?
Yeah.
But whatever the inner child self-talk is. Um,
It's just a big no. I still even feel it. I can like it's so crazy how physical it is.
mhm.
How you can be that divided in that space at the same time. It is just like this giant, this is terrifying. This is no, I don't want to. I
Okay.
don't want to do it. Wow. I
So
remember when I was a kid, I don't want to wear what I want to wear. Yeah.
yeah, right. I remember that.
Yeah.
So this is where the parenting comes in. You have a child who does not comprehend what's going on, but just is feeling.
Mm,
No.
yeah.
Hold her, that poor baby girl. Hold her and say, you know what, honey? You don't have to make that decision. I will. I will make that decision. You're
Is it okay
okay.
to reassure her that we won't do it till she's ready?
No,
Or is
she's a
that
child.
enabling?
She's a child. You are the grown up.
Yeah.
So you tell her, I know you're scared, honey, but what she didn't have was someone to do this for her.
Right.
That's why she's really protective of her feelings.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening to me, motherfuckers. No, I said no.
For not doing it.
Right.
It's not
And
safe.
so you're saying, I hear you. I feel that you're scared, and I'm doing this, and you will be protected. You have to trust me. You have to trust me. And if you can't, here's your bike. Go take a long ride. Here's your swimsuit. Go jump in the lake. Have a good time, mama. Go have fun.
There you
Stop
go.
worrying about trying to parent me. I've got you.
Gotta,
I've got you. I know you're scared. Let's go find something that you can do that's age appropriate for you, because making decisions for the grown up is not age appropriate for her,
right.
even though that's what you had to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know that logically, but the
Yeah.
only way to reparent her is to be the grown up with love in the way that you would have wanted to be parented. Right? So you're saying, I don't want to wear what I don't want to wear, or I want to wear what I want to wear.
Yeah.
Right? How, if that was your little girl, what would you do? What would you say to her?
Yeah, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. It's hard when neither option seems okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just sit with that.
Yes.
and see if we can look at other options.
Yeah.
That we can add in that might
Mhm.
feel better.
Mhm.
And let's sit with it for a minute to let that feeling move through, because it's just like the weather.
Yep. That's right.
Can we name it? What's the name it? What's the feeling?
Yeah.
Anger,
Mm-hmm.
confusion, frustration. No one's listening.
Yes. But now someone is. That's the difference. That's what I mean. When you sit with her and you're looking her dead in the eye and you're giving her a hug and you're going, honey, I know this is hard. It's so frustrating. I see you. I feel you. Let's sit here. I love what you said. Let's sit here. Let's take a few breaths together. Let's
Right?
wiggle around. Let's wiggle around like this. Let's do a stupid dance. You do a stupid dance, I'll do a stupid dance.
Yeah.
Let's do the dance of anger. What does that look like? Right? And then it moves out of that stuck place. Right. And also,
I'm bypassing the emotion. I'm not sitting with it. I'm feeling
right.
that resistance, and
Right.
I'm not allowing space for it because it feels so scary.
Right.
I get
And
it.
and what you just said to her is so true. It's like, this will pass. This is temporary.
Yeah.
But I get you're feeling it right now. So let's just feel it together. Let's just sit
Yeah.
here and breathe on it. Let's move around. And you don't even have to make a decision right now about what you want to wear. See if anything else comes to you.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be creative. Like, you could also not wear anything. You want to go naked? Right? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, well then, what
Yeah.
else? What colors do we want to look at today? What do you know what I mean? Just look, we're not going through, but it might be helpful for you to practice that. I think that I don't want to wear what I want to wear is so touching,
No
you know,
one's listening. No one's listening.
and so such a great example of that fierce little girl. But no one's listening is her experience, but she hasn't sat with you who is listening. And that's that corrective experience that you're looking for, because you have to feel it both as the adult and as the child. That you
And
could
I feel it already.
yeah, you could feel
Just
it
that
relaxing.
did it.
Be
Yeah.
playful, be playful. And that's the other part in the reparenting is, yeah, we have to step up and be the parent because she doesn't feel safe. Nobody's there, nobody understands her, and nobody's parenting her in the right way. But you're great at it. And so now turning that to yourself and go like, well, I get that you're scared, but I got this. You go and do something that an 8-year-old Lorena would do that would be fun for you. Let me handle it. You don't even have to think about it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't for you. And let me do it. And then and then the adult Lorena can drop into her excitement about this workshop or whatever. Right? Because like, I want to fucking do this thing.
Yeah.
This is going to be good for people. And the part about like talking to people about it, well, I don't want to go to that part yet. Let's go back. How are you feeling about the inner child?
It shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that resistance immediately shifted. And so I can see where that I keep, it's weird, right? Because you talk about this stuff all day long, and I can do it on surface things. I can in the moment, if something comes up in my life while I'm standing there, I can name the flavor of what's moving through me in the moment. But the moment that feeling comes up, I freeze. Right. And so just taking the time with you to really drop into that and explore what possibilities exist with her in that moment felt really, really good. And I feel it, like,
yeah,
that whole solar plexus area just relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And so to further the relaxing part, releasing part, you remember, I think the best thing I ever learned from Tad Hargrave was you're not trying to get people to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
You're saying, I have some stuff, and you're letting people know and letting them make the decision.
Yeah.
And that's all you're required to do. Also, what helps, and this is just technical stuff, this is my take on it. I don't think it may be for everybody, but it is for me. I know people who will not run a workshop unless they have at least 5, 10 people, whatever. That's not the case for me,
Yeah.
because I come from a theater background where if one person shows up for the play, you get on stage
We
and you
all
perform
show
that
up.
play. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if you can affect one person in a positive way, you do it.
Yeah.
And so maybe it might help to release some of the pressure of how many people need to be in your workshop, and just present to whomever you talk to what that workshop is.
Yeah, no, that all honestly, all of that stuff feels so in alignment.
Okay.
And it feels so good with all of those different pieces. It is literally, she is literally having a tantrum, and we are in the supermarket and she has locked everything down, and it is 1000% around that. And so it's just about she does not even want to talk to anyone.
Okay.
Period.
So she doesn't have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I will give her a coloring book and
That's
an activity
correct.
book, and she can go sit over on the
You don't
side.
have to, darling. That's not
Yeah.
your job. That's
Yeah.
my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I love what I do. And pretty soon, because that's it. What it is the parentified child.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a grown-up anymore. Fuck you.
Yeah.
No. La. Then don't. You're giving her the permission to just be a child. Not just to celebrate being a child.
Yeah. Enjoy it, revel in
To
it.
enjoy it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then of course there's a part of you that can enjoy that too, which is what we're going to talk about in week 3. But to allow her to just be a kid and trust that her parent, i.e. you, has everything under control.
Yeah.
Sees her, feels her, respects her, allows her to have her big emotions, loves her, and
Yeah.
also has this lockdown over here, which is the adult stuff. That's not even your place, little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have a say in this.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just to remind her, and I don't mean it in a like, not a scolding way,
Yeah.
a loving
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
guess what? You don't have to do it, honey. I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got it for you.
Yeah. I got your back.
Feels good. It
Yeah.
feels good. Mm.
Yeah. Beautiful. So I would spend some time just maybe spending some time, if she's feeling calmer now about all this, you might want to spend, like, after we're off this call, like walk around with her and talk to her and just enjoy the day. It's freaking beautiful where you are.
Yeah. That's gorgeous.
It's pissing down rain here.
Lots of palm trees.
Yeah, that's nice. So let her enjoy that, maybe, and this is just a suggestion that's popping into my mind, but let her look for something to put on your altar.
Mm,
Give
that's a
her
good idea.
give her something playful and fun to do today.
Yeah, I'm
And
thinking that's a good
yeah,
idea.
and just hold her and let her be a kid and give her lots of love. And you'll get to work later. It's not even work. This is your love. This is what you're called to do.
I know, it's just
I
that
know.
it is me, an extension of me.
Yeah.
I
guess
can't
what?
not do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what? Just like it is with actual children, they're watching you. You're modeling for them.
Right.
So by you picking up and doing the thing that you love, you're also modeling for your inner child. You're also showing her, look, it's all good. You know, I'm helping people. That's what I hear. That's what I'm hearing. When my son was a very, very little boy and didn't understand what therapy was, and he asked, what do I do for a living? And I said I was a writer, which it was easy, but I just said I help people. That when he was little, and then later he understood what therapy was.
Yeah.
But that's what he said. My mom helps people, you know, and that's you know, and that works. That's fine. That was an age appropriate response, you know.
Right.
Or I try to
And
help people anyway.
right. You do. Oh my gosh. Life has changed because of what you do. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And I can see that consistent being oversharing, adults oversharing before you're developmentally ready to understand what's being shared with you. And
Yes.
instead of protecting you from, I know Elena used to talk about that, you know, like you protect your children from the things that they aren't developmentally ready to understand, and you
Right.
suck it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And if our parents don't have or can't turn to each other or other adults, and then we start communicating age inappropriately with our children, yeah, then they feel responsible for, they don't understand that it's not their job to fix things, but they want to fix things because they love us, right? So
Yeah.
if that's the whole thing. And what I think you're experiencing with little Lorena is, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to do it. And now finally, you can say, honey, you don't have to.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah,
Wow. Thank you so much.
absolutely. All right, I'm going to release you to the, unless there's something else, if there's anything else that,
No, no, I
any
think it
questions about the course or
oh no,
okay.
it's all incredible. It's all incredible. It feels like, you know, there's that kind of drive to want to look at all kinds of other things, but I understand that literally I need to stew in it for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just need
yeah,
to let the pieces kind of uncurl and walk around and do what you're talking about, and it will feel very different next week. Yeah,
yeah, beautiful.
for
Okay.
sure.
Well, then I leave the
Right.
two of you to your beautiful walk.
Thank you. We will. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe we'll go to the beach.
Oh,
Yay.
nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Super, super, super appreciate you. Cannot thank you enough for all of it.
It's always a
It's
pleasure,
just
Lorena.
incredible.
Good. All right. Well, have
Thank you,
fun.
Rachel. You
I'll
have a
see you
great
Tuesday.
afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Take care. See you Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.